Hey there, my product owner peeps. Let's just forget about the fancy intros and let's just dig right in and start talking about scope creep. So, your project always starts out great, right? It seems completely manageable. The features are written, everybody agrees upon the scope, it start great, and then all of a sudden other features start bubbling up. And then the deadlines start vanishing faster than a free donut at the office, and suddenly you are knee deep in chaos. How did this happen? My name is Sheila Hammond, and I've been doing the BAPO thing for about 25 years. And I'm here to tell you that scope creep is not some inevitable force of nature, right? It's a problem that can be managed with the right approach. So let's roll up our sleeves and we're going to tackle this thing head on. So, scope creep happens when the initial project scope, right, the core functionalities that you set out to build, keeps expanding without control. Stakeholders chime in with great ideas that they have, or developers get super stoked about some of the latest tech that's out and they want to try that for this new feature. So, before you know it, your project looks like a feature Frankenstein. The result of scope creep is not always, I've got something on my face that's really bothering me right now. So, sorry. But the result of scope creep is not always what you think, right? So scope creep causes stressed out teams, right? Because they're being pulled in too many different directions. You're going to miss deadlines. And basically you're going to get a product that's bloated and misses the mark entirely. Don't forget, you've already done all of this research to determine what that initial scope is going to be. And if you start bloating it, then you start adding things that maybe don't have value or that don't have data to support why they need to be there. So, first things first, let's debunk the misconception that scope creep is unavoidable. Changes, of course, are going to happen. That's the nature of product development, but it's how we handle those changes that makes all the difference. As a product owner, you have the power to set boundaries, manage those expectations, and steer that ship in the right direction. One of the keys to avoiding scope creep is managing stakeholder expectations. It is crucial to have open and honest communication right from the start. You need to set clear goals and objectives and make sure that everyone is on the same page. You need to have those clear conversations in the beginning about the scope, about the timeline, and about the resources that you have available. Now, this doesn't mean that you're being inflexible, but it does mean that you need to be honest about the priorities and trade-offs. Explain what's included in that initial scope and be transparent about the impact of adding new features later. Hey, if you want to add this later, then these features are going to have to go, or we're going to have to push out the timeline. We have a very strict, tight timeline, or, whatever it is. In the beginning, I always like to create a very strong and very thoughtful scope document. And then I get sign off from the stakeholders. I present that to everyone. I get sign off. Everyone knows what's included. I put it out on a shared drive someplace. Everybody knows what is in that initial scope. And I think that it makes stakeholders a bit more thoughtful about making requests because they can look at that list and go, you're right. These are more important than what I am proposing. So getting everyone on that same page from jump, crucial. When those inevitable change requests come in, don't be afraid to push back if they don't align with the project vision and priorities. I know sometimes that's hard, but okay, speaking of pushing back, I am a big proponent of the art of saying no. Um, I believe that saying no effectively is incredibly important as a product owner. And as a product owner, you're not a yes person. You just don't say, you betcha, sure. Yeah, got you. You're not just a yes person for that. You are a gatekeeper. Your job is to protect the project from unnecessary distractions, right? You protect that scope. New feature requests are exciting, but don't be afraid to say no if they don't align with the product vision or if they're adding unnecessary complexity. Remember, you are the guardian of the product vision, and sometimes that means protecting it from well meaning, but ultimately distracting ideas. So be firm but diplomatic when you turn down requests that would lead to scope creep. Explain the reasons behind your decision and offer alternative solutions whenever possible. Workarounds are great. I can't implement this for you right now, but you can always do this, this, and this functionality is going to exist. And sometimes that workaround is just fine. I have a video on how to say no effectively if you're interested in watching. So, finally, let's discuss the importance of prioritizing ruthlessly. I love saying that. It feels so badass to me, right? I'm going to prioritize and I'm going to prioritize the hell out of this. I'm going to prioritize ruthlessly. Ruthlessly. Uh. Okay, back to work. Sorry. um, Shoot, what was I saying? Oh, not every feature or change request is created equal. So it's essential to focus on what matters the most. Focus on delivering the core functionalities first. You know, the ones that solve the most problems, the most critical problems for your user, and the ones that deliver the most bang for your buck. If it has uh, a high need, like a stakeholder, or you know that the customers really need it, and it has a low dev time, that is super bueno. That's the right. That is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. High value, low dev time, get her done. So remember, you can always iterate and you can always add more features later based upon the data and the user feedback. So just keep iterating, just keep going. It's a very cyclical process. It's not you're going down a road and that's the only road that exists for miles. Nah. There's lots of roads. By being transparent, mastering the art of saying no, and prioritizing ruthlessly, you can navigate the treacherous waters of the scope creep swamp and deliver a product that's on time, on budget, and actually hits the mark. So as you're moving through, keep that clear vision for your product always on the forefront of your mind. What is the vision? And remember that you are a leader and strong leadership is important. So go forward with confidence, and I'm wishing you scope creep free projects. That's hard to say. Scope creep free projects. And thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed what you saw here, I would love it if you would subscribe and give me some comments about how you manage scope creep. That would be awesome. So I guess that's it for today. It's all I got for you right now. So Lazy BA out.